Okay, I'd like to call the January 2nd, 2019 meeting to order. I'd ask everyone to bow their heads for a moment of silence, please. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided indicating the time and place of the meeting in accordance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975 by advertising a notice in the Star Gazette and the Express Times and by posting a copy on the bulletin board in a municipal building. Roll call, please.
Councilman Belcaro.
Here.
Councilman Polito.
Here.
Councilman Wright.
Here.
Council President Pryor.
Here.
Mayor Mancucci.
Here. Need a motion to come out of executive session?
Make that motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Katrina?
We're in executive session for approximately 1 hour. The topics of discussion are exactly as listed on your agenda 1 through 3. Minutes from executive session will be available at such time as the need for confidentiality no longer exists. Thank you.
All right, thank you. At this time, I'd like to swear in Councilman Lou Belcaro.
Yep. That right.
Yeah, rather right.
I, Lou Belcaro,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments
and to the government
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of the office of councilman
all the duties of the office of the councilman
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Joe, you're up. Now we'll have Councilman Pryor.
This is my wife Lori, 48 years. She's on the inside, so don't mix it up like we did.
Repeat after me. I, Joseph Pryor,
I, Joseph Pryor,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and the governments established in the United States
and the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of the office of councilman
all the duties of the office of councilman
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Okay, before we move on, I'd like to open the floor up to Mr. Belcaro, Mr. Pryor, if they'd like to say something.
Yes, it's a privilege to be here. I want to thank everyone here that supported us. Joe, Brian, and myself. We have a good team up here. We're able to be civil, work together, and get the job done. That's important to all of us, the taxpayers. And that's what we're here for. And we're doing the best. We're going to move forward, and everything's going good. Thank you very much.
Well, I'll second what Lou said. I'll just say that I'd like to thank everybody, not only who voted for us, but who voted, period. It's great to have a good turnout, and I applaud people for coming out. And if I remember, the weather was so-so, and we had a good turnout. So you're to be commended. Obviously, I enjoy the job. I take the job seriously, and I try and base my decisions on the facts, and that's all I can pledge going forward. So thank you for turning out for the election. Thank you for voting. Thank you for being here tonight.
I'd just like to take a moment to add that both of these gentlemen, obviously very committed to this township. Lou's on his third term, Joe's on his second. Joe has been my right arm since I took over as mayor last year. I've told him that the fact that you're retired doesn't mean you get to do all the workload, but obviously with a full-time job, it's tough for me to be here as much as I'd like to be. And Joe has certainly done an admirable job with a lot of things in this township, stuff that you just don't see. So we have a very, very dedicated council up here. I'm happy just to be a part of it. So I was very happy with the turnout in November, not so much because, certainly the other people have a right to run, and they were good people, but it just doesn't interrupt anything. Otherwise, we would have been sitting up here for 2 months waiting to find out what they were going to do and how they were going to act. Now we know that, so we have some continuity up here, which is what we were lacking for a number of years. So that's back, and I think it's good for not only the council, but it's also good for the residents of this township that we get some stuff done. I'd like to see people come out for the right reasons. I think for a number of years here, we had people at this meeting for the wrong reasons. That was entertaining, and I'm not here to be entertaining. If I turn out to be entertaining, so be it, but that's not our purpose. Our purpose is to do things for you. So, my thanks to both you gentlemen. Congratulations, and if anybody else, Mr. O'Carroll, Mr. Wright, Mr. Polito, I'm sorry.
I want to say the same thing. Really great to have you guys back on, and I look forward to working with you for the next year, couple years, 3 years.
All right.
Thank you.
Any comment on agenda items only? John?
My name is John Betts, and I live at 225 Red School Lane, Apartment 114, in Lopatcong. Just a question. Governing body appointments, that's just this, the councilman appointments, the councilman's positions, because then there's the mayor's appointments, various municipal boards, commissions, and committees.
Right.
Are there differences there are differences. All right, now with the governing body appointments, do you know what they include? Kind of.
You want me to hop in? Council liaisons are governing body appointment. Council committees are mayor's appointment. The planning board is a mayor's appointment. The board of adjustment is a governing body or council appointment. We're going to do some other things tonight. The rec committee, that's a council appointment. So if you go back to either the law or the code,
Yes.
some of these are the mayor alone, some are the mayor with the advice and consent of council, and some of them are the council alone.
Okay, and then just the one further question is about the event living board. I would like to see 3 members on that board, like it's supposed to be boarded with. And will you mention who it is tonight, who the people are on these appointments you're making to boards and things of that nature?
We are actually tabling that tonight.
You're tabling that.
Yep.
Okay. And then one last question. Could you please, when you get to number 22, approve temporary budget, sewer utility budget, please give us a number on that if you can.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. Thanks a lot. And congratulations, Joe. Congratulations.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Anyone else on agenda items only? Seeing none, under reorganization, resolution number 2, charge for individuals requesting an annual meeting calendar. Motion on it?
Motion.
Have a second?
Second.
Roll call that Councilman Valcarro.
Yes.
Councilman Polito.
Yes.
Councilman Wright.
Yes.
Council President Pryor.
Yes.
Mayor Menducci.
Yes. Number 2, resolution number 3, establish cash management plan. Motion on that?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Councilman Valcarro.
Yes.
Councilman Polito.
Yes.
Councilman Wright.
Yes.
Council President Pryor.
Yes.
Mayor Menducci.
Resolution number 8, to authorize interest to be charged on delinquent taxes. Motion. Second?
Second.
Councilman Valcarro.
Yes.
Councilman Polito.
Yes.
Councilman Wright.
Yes.
Council President Pryor.
Yes.
Mayor Menducci.
Yes. Number 9 is to authorize the tax collector to process and cancel any municipal charge refunds or delinquencies for less than $10.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Councilman Valcarro.
Yes.
Councilman Polito.
Yes.
Councilman Wright.
Yes.
Council President Pryor.
Yes.
Mayor Menducci.
Yes. Number 5 is resolution number 26 to appoint a council president.
I'd like to make that motion to appoint Joe Pryor.
Do I have a second?
Second.
And I'll vote for that. Councilman Valcarro.
Yes.
Councilman Polito.
Yes.
Councilman Wright.
Yes.
Council President Pryor.
Yes.
Mayor Menducci.
Yes.
Thank you.
Consent agenda. Is there anything that anyone wants to pull out of the consent agenda? Items 1 through 25.
Yes, I'd like to pull out number 17, resolution number 22. And we're going to have further discussion on this.
Okay. Anyone else?
I was going to say, some people are interested in the appointments and ask that the names be read.
Well, for the mayor's appointments, for the event leveling board, I said we were going to table that tonight. Planning board, we have 4 appointments and an alternate 2-year appointment. Class 2 would be Brian Weeks. Class 4 is Earl Clymer Jr. Class 4 is Ann Coyle. And Class 4 alternate would be Zach Liptak. Environmental Conservation Commission, is Laura Nowak. You know if she's interested in it, because it expired.
We haven't heard anything this week.
So we may have an appointment coming there. And we also have a vacancy on that board, so
Yes.
anybody who's interested in being on the Environmental Commission, please contact Beth so she can get to me on that one. EDAC, do you have anybody on
There are
that?
some vacancies on that as well.
Okay.
We encourage anybody.
How many do you need there?
I'm not positive. I think probably 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Economic Development, anybody interested in that also?
We can put something up on the website.
Yep. The Finance Committee, Brian and Mr. Polito. Council appointment?
Yes, council appointments, or zoning board of adjustment, we have Robert Larson. He's expiring, and he's not expiring, his term is expiring, and we plan to renew him. The planning board, we get to appoint a class 3 member. I've been a class 3 member. Anybody would like that instead of me, or I'm willing to do it. All right, that would be our class 3 appointment. Will remain myself. The rec committee, we have Lori Cheslin, Matt Herzer, and Sarah Lutz. And then we have our liaisons on council, and the proposal was to keep them as last year. I can read them if you want. Board of Education would be me. The Rec Committee would be me again. Lou Belcaro would have Buildings and Grounds, Public Works, and the Sewer Utility. Bill Wright, Clean Communities, Recycling, Police Department, Rent Leveling Board Liaison, and Shade Tree Commission. Jim Polito, EDAC, LAA, and we've already done this. He's the Municipal Insurance and Fund Commissioner. And Mayor Mengucci would be, he wear two hats. He is in charge of the executive function. And he would also be the liaison to council for anything that would be brought to our attention here. So with that explanation, it's on the consent agenda. It would just be passed as part of the consent agenda.
Okay. Other than item 17, which is resolution number 22, does anybody else want anything else to pull out at this point? Seeing none, I need a motion to pass the consent agenda.
Make the motion.
Have a second?
I'll second, and again, I want to clarify, Lou, item number 17 is off for now, and
Right.
N22, the municipal budget.
No, resolution 22.
What, resolution 22? Resolution 22.
No, resolution, okay, so it's one item. It's
Yeah.
item number 17, resolution.
That's it.
I stand corrected. Okay, I'll second that.
Okay, I'll roll call. Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Yes.
Council President Pryor?
Yes.
Mayor Mengucci?
Yes. Under new business, ordinance number 2019-01, it's the first reading to amend, revise, and supplement chapter entitled Towing to update rates for services provided. A motion?
Yeah, I'll second it for purposes of discussion, and
Who made the motion? Oh,
Bill, I'll second it. And could you go, what did we do with the rates there, Beth?
Actually, we're going to follow, they're going to be increased, but they're going to be increased to follow, just let me get it right, the Garden State Towers Association Incorporated. Same thing POHAT does, and that way there, every time the rates change, we don't have to revisit the ordinance
Mhm.
and that expense.
This was at the request of the chief, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So we have a first and a...
Have a first and a second.
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Yes.
Council President Pryor?
Yes.
Mayor Mengucci?
Yes. Number 2 is ordinance number 2019-02, it's the first reading to amend, revise, and supplement chapter 47, Police Department. Article 2, to create Article 2, miscellaneous provisions, Section 7, supplementary employment. Have a motion?
That's what we had talked about.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Again, I'll second it for purposes of discussion, and
Go
maybe
ahead.
Katrina could summarize that.
Sure. When someone needs what they call a road job, which is employment outside of their normal police duties, they contract with a police officer from Lopatcong to provide that service. So this just spells out exactly what the rate is for the contractor and how much goes to the officer and how much goes to the township for use of their vehicle, health insurance, FICA, etc. So it's just putting in writing what's already been done for 20 years, but it just sets what the rate is.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Okay. Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Yes.
Council President Pryor?
Yes.
Mayor Mengucci?
Yes. Number 3 under new business, which is not on your agendas, is an interlocal service agreement for an animal control officer with Washington Borough. So we'll need a motion for that also.
Motion.
Have a second?
I'll second that.
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Yes.
Council President Pryor?
Yes.
Mayor Mengucci?
Yes. Okay, under announcements, we're going to have a special council meeting on Wednesday, January 16th, at 6:30, basically to pay bills, and we have a couple other items that may come up, right? Okay. Anybody have any council reports tonight? Jim?
Just as was mentioned earlier with EDAC, we are looking for members, and I'm going to look to schedule a meeting for the end of the month.
Okay. Mr. Belcarro?
No council report this month.
Okay, thank you. Bill?
The only thing, I just talked to Paul, we're gonna take a trip out to Fox Farm Road next week with Brian, take a look at that road problem they have over there with the icing. That's about all I have.
Okay,
No, I have nothing for tonight.
you have nothing. And I don't have anything either, other than, again, my congratulations to both you gentlemen. Paul?
Thank you, Mayor. Happy New Year, everybody. As you may be aware, this past fall, we paved 7 roads or parts of 7 roads. There are other roads that we're looking to get done here in early 2019, namely Baltimore Street between Red School Lane and the Hillcrest Mall, and also Enmore Road and Oxford Road, which are located between Breakley Avenue and Stelco Avenue. And I'm happy to report that I will have all the bid documents completed for that before the end of the month. We're looking to get that out to bid by the end of the month, both of those projects. So we can build these early here in 2019. Another street that we're looking to improve is this section of South Fifth Street between Route 22 and Baltimore Street, and that particular project requires some surveying work. We may have to put some curbing in as part of that, so we're going to be doing the surveying work probably next week on that to get that ready to build sometime this year. I'm anticipating we're going to do that through the co-op, so we wouldn't have to go out to bid because we're a member of the co-op. So that's my report on the roadways. We did file an application to get some additional monies for Red School Lane. Hopefully we will be successful. That was submitted about 3 months ago, and I believe based on what it typically takes the DOT to review those applications and rank them, that we probably will hear sometime around March 1st on what the verdict is on the application. I think it's a very good application. I'm hopeful that we will be funded for that particular project.
Once we get funded for that, we can get that done this year?
I believe we can, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Motion to approve department reports? Motion. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. All right, folks, questions, comments? Anybody? John? Yes, sir.
Anything on the sidewalks?
I've heard nothing on the sidewalks at this point. I know you guys are not in favor of them, but Paul?
Yeah, Mayor, you and I have not had an opportunity to speak since I had the public information forum with the residents on Belvedere Road several weeks ago. So I will be setting up a meeting with you to go through what was discussed at that particular meeting and the feedback that I received from the residents that night, which was not very favorable toward that particular project. So we need to talk about it and see where we're going to go with that particular project. We're at a crossroads. So I'll be setting up a meeting with you for next week.
Okay, I'm just looking at my calendar now, just give me a call.
Thank you.
Yeah, are you the one that spoke?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, Jim Stout,
Staff.
S-T-O-U-T.
Okay, thank you.
John?
Thanks. Once again, I noticed you didn't say anything about what the temporary municipal budget is, the amount for the temporary sewer budget is.
I can tell you what the budget is, or you would like a copy as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a temporary budget, and that's 26.25% of the total appropriations of the 2018 budget. So the current fund is $1,813,975, and the sewer utilities $395,200.
Okay. And then the other question is, will the budget be spoken about or on at the special council meeting on Wednesday, January 16th?
We haven't even had a budget meeting yet, so
Haven't had budget meeting yet?
No.
There may be at
we will be setting up budget meetings, yes.
setting it up on
Yes.
16th. Okay.
Yep.
All right, thanks. Beth,
Yes,
can I get that now or tomorrow?
I'll give it to you right now.
All right. Thank you very much, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Thanks for coming out. Anyone else, questions, comments? Ma'am?
Hi, my name is Robin George, and my address is 34 Raleigh Court. So I have a little story. So for the last 4 years, I've been commuting back and forth to Sweden. And I moved home December 13th to Raleigh Court. And I was devastated. I was horrified. There was nothing in the mail, nothing at all. I came home and I found out that you guys chopped down my trees. And I don't know why. We have hundreds of thousands of dollars that you need to spend on road work. on sidewalks that you're looking for, on all kinds of things. What was the justification for chopping down the trees that children come and play in? Every summer, there are children that come down the footpath. Your kids used to play in the circle and sit under those trees with their picnic baskets, and now they're gone. What is the plan to replace them? Who authorized it? And what form of communication did you give to us? And ask our opinion, the people that are most affected by it, those that live on Raleigh Court. I have to say, I mean, it was heartbreaking. I couldn't believe that I came home. I said I lived in, Watership Downs when I moved into Lopatcong. And are you gonna cut down my grass and are you gonna blacktop it? Am I gonna, be able to say, they put up a parking lot?
The failure for lack of communication starts right here and it ends right here. We did not notify the residents out there, that's on me. The reason that they were cut down, I'm gonna let our road foreman speak to that. He just now get on the phone, so. But the lack of communication starts right here.
And what is the plan for replacing the tree?
Brian, you wanna speak to as to why they were cut down first?
And I'm actually the road superintendent. I took them down. Again, maybe some little lack of communication, I'll give you that, and some things, but I did it to benefit. All right, I watched them for 6 months or so. Okay, as we were cutting the grass, we're doing nothing but picking up, having Mason dump the branches every time we're cutting the grass. Okay, I watched them, I looked at them, I'm pulling branches this big out of the trees with the backhoes. All right, I just felt with the winter coming, and it's not been a real bad winter, but that it was the right thing to do. Okay, I apologize to my council maybe for not being upfront enough with them, but I made that decision. I had to hold that decision.
Well, it's good that you noticed it, but can I ask, when you were out there doing the lawn maintenance, did you ever do anything about the fact that the Cruzman's house, the people that bought that house,
Well, I didn't cut anybody's house down.
No, I know you didn't cut their house down, but did you do anything about the fact that they were trying to kill the trees by putting their grass clippings down?
Oh, we've seen that. We told people stop putting it there. They put the leaves there. They put everything. They really think it's their dumping ground. They put dirt, leaves, gravel, grass, you name it. All right, and it's the town dump. And again, you're 100%. Well, you know what I'm saying. It's that area to put whatever they don't want to get rid of.
Two people's dump.
It becomes ours. Okay. I had reached out to one person when I saw them doing it. I said, please stop this. Okay. I'm 100% with you. I will apologize for not notifying maybe the public. I figured they were our trees.
I mean, it's too late to...
The town is going to come up with whatever.
But what are we going to do to fix it?
I had planned on putting new, wherever they would like to go now that it's a little different this year. It's in their ballpark.
I know that the Smiths have been very vocal about it, and Beth Byer...
Well, there's a lot that have come to me also the opposite way. Okay, I had one guy come to me and thank me, all right, for doing it. I had another guy out on the street, not too far from the other person, all right, that said if he wasn't doing something soon, they were going to call and demand it being done. Okay, so I will stand by what I did. It maybe wasn't, I've learned that maybe I need, I need to reach out a little bit more in that, because when it affected people in that fashion. I didn't think it through. I said, it's township property, it's dangerous, let's get them out of there. And that's what I did. All right. I will eat that. I don't have a choice to eat that side of it, so put that on me, not these guys. He's doing the right thing, but it's mine.
But what are we going to do to
So that's up
resolve
to them.
that? How do we resolve that problem?
Maybe-
These trees were removed.
Well, first of all, you're not gonna resolve the problem for 40 years, that's what's wrong.
That's
We will
absolutely
put some
true.
trees back, I'm sure, of some type, but if you're looking for,
I mean, I'd love to join your committee, but unfortunately, I still do commute to Sweden, and I'm not here enough. But I would, if I could participate in a part-time way, I would be happy to join your committee to work on the environment, because I really believe in the environment. And cutting down trees is like saying, I hurt my fingernail, let me cut off my hand. There's more than one way to solve a sick tree problem, and cutting them down isn't always the solution. You're right, 40 years it took for those trees to grow. So we have to plant trees this year, so that 40 years from now, our kids' kids will have trees to play under, and it's gonna take that long.
Yeah, maybe I can add a few things. Go ahead, you wanna?
I was just gonna add, so,
Give your name, and your address.
Beth Meyer, 23 Raleigh Court.
Okay.
Would you mind coming up? Because that's how she gets the minutes, what goes on the recording here.
Beth Meyer, 23 Raleigh Court. Okay, the trees are gone now, so what I'm hearing is I think we're gonna replant trees. Could I just make a suggestion? Instead of like a little sapling, maybe a foot, maybe we can get something, pear trees, something with some size to them at least, to get it going. I mean, those were beautiful trees, and they did provide a lot of shade, and it was lovely. And now you look out, and it's really very desolate.
How many trees, Brian?
6.
There's 6 on it.
I think it was 8.
Yeah, I think it was 8. I went out, I saw it.
And even the one
Later.
tree that died, that you guys chopped down, we wanted to live so badly, it grew back. So, I mean, if anything, just take into consideration, not a tiny little sapling, but something, yeah, something,
Get you something with some sort of size to it.
yes. And if there's something that the community on Raleigh Court can do to help, we're not opposed to being asked to help either.
Yeah.
We would like to participate and help if we can, and ask the other neighbors on the circle. I know a number of us would be happy to help. It's not, I mean, everybody doesn't take benefit from it, so we.
I want to say a
wanna
few
help.
things here, and I don't want to cut you off, you
That's
know. But there were reasons why what was there came down. And again, the council didn't do it. Our public works fellow, he's diligent. He did what he thought was the right thing. They were Norwegian maples. In some states, they're banned. Not in New Jersey, but in many others. So they're an invasive species, and one of the problems is they basically can take over a forest. And it's a weak wood, and that's what was happening. Those trees were declining, but they weren't dead. But he was experiencing all kinds of things falling in the street. Now, just as it was wrong to take that down without talking to you, we're not going to put up anything without canvassing the neighborhood and involving the neighborhood. Now, there are some people there who were glad to see the trees gone. We understand that. There are other people there who got up one day and had gotten used to, like you said, 40 years of shade and whatnot, and they felt another way. So it's my recommendation, we're not going to do anything until we get some community involvement there. Now, the thought was, there's a practical limit what we can put up, and a rule of thumb for each inch of trunk. The ball is a foot in diameter, so if you want to do an 8-inch tree, you'd have 8 feet of ball. That's impractical. It's not going to happen. The other thing is species selection. The developer put those up. Was probably the wrong tree to begin with. We want to put some thought into that, and your idea, both your ideas, of a mix of things that maybe don't grow so large, maybe don't fall in the street, are hardy, low maintenance, we could do something there. Now, it is the township's property, we have to maintain it. Thought was maybe we could even supplement it, if the neighborhood felt like it, with a rain garden or something like that, make it a little more pleasant. I know you have a path that comes down, you know, maybe we could put something there, a bench or a rain garden, break it up a little bit so it's not just a big thing with trees. Now, I don't know how other people feel about that. They may want to see it clear, they don't want to have people come there. We have to come to some sort of, well, we need input from the neighborhood. You three folks are here. I don't know how the other folks feel. You'll be involved, that's all I can say at that point. And we had some ideas to do something.
Should we reach out to all our neighbors now and come back next month?
I would.
Would that be a good idea?
Why not?
Okay.
Why not? And you know what? You don't have to come back next month. I mean, if you want to do something, there's folks here on council, sit with you and get your input.
Who's the shade tree lead?
Matt Herzer is the Shade Tree Commission. He's the liaison.
Give me a call. We'll talk.
Because that would be the logical choice.
Bill is as personable as it gets. I'm not gonna say he's the arboretist or, but
I won't even lie to you, all right? We'll sit down and talk, we'll get it squared.
he'll hear you out, and you'll feel like he's listening, so.
You had mentioned about the pear trees, and they get to be a decent size, not real big, and they do look very nice when they flower up. However, this Hurricane Sandy went through.
Yeah, they do a terrible number.
Country Hills look like an absolute war zone. I made the right off of Belvedere Road on the Buckley Hill, and it looked like a war zone out there. So they were not very storm,
Very brittle.
Yeah.
Very brittle.
I have to admit, the tree selection that was made 30 years ago wasn't optimal. The developers put things in and they were...
It's an interesting point, but it's really not a very good point, because then we should be asking every person in the community to cut down their trees because they're a hazard, because every house has one of those same maple trees in front of it that is destroying our sidewalks because they were planted too close to the sidewalk.
Yes, but
So
most
it's
of
not
those
really
are
a really
on private
good
property
argument.
in Brakely Park.
Yes, they're not on the town's. property, but
Powderhorn
everyone else's
is
property.
our responsibility, but other people can be asked to take those down. But that's not our, let's say, if they want to take them down, they can.
Well, I think just we'll focus on cul-de-sac middle there.
Focus on those eight trees.
So make you feel any better, your mayor's not a tree killer. I spent $1,500 to have my trees, 4 of them trimmed in my yard last year, so.
Okay,
But I will say, those shouldn't have been taken down without some
notice.
discussion in the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
We're trying to prevent that from
We will
ever
admit our
happening
fault there.
again.
That's on us.
thank you.
Thanks for coming out, appreciate it.
Mayor, may I have to say one more thing on that?
Go ahead.
Right now, there's just a cul-de-sac there, okay? I have on order, just so you know, the next step, all right, in the meantime, for if you get heavy snows or whatever, they call delineators, they're little reflectors, all right? I'm just gonna put them around that. And then
Well,
begin-
yeah,
I'm gonna put
because
it here.
the snow plows.
That's what was planned, they're on order, everything's ready to go, as soon as they come in, it should be here a couple
That's a
days.
safety
hopefully.
concern for you guys at this point. not-
Yeah, well, you, us, the whole nine yards, but that's, so you know where everything,
Perfect.
all right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's Chesla.
Good. Lori Chesla, 12 Meadowview Drive. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. Congratulations. Glad to see you guys back up there. For the trees, I know we do have it took us a long time to get it, but we have a forestry management plan, so maybe there's some advice on there on what trees to plant in there. But what was I going to say? For recreation, thank you for reappointing me. We're trying to see if we can streamline things this year. Since it was just out of the committee, there was only about a handful of us that really went to work. So one of the things I was looking to do, I know last year we were looking for sponsors for their movie equipment. I did talk to the tech guy over at the middle school as well, and he thinks he could kind of help us piece together things and maybe spend less than the quote I had gotten from Dave Phillips, and just get the pieces that we need, because I think it would be nice if we had it ourselves and if we could actually start getting smaller, more modern equipment, so it'll be easier for people to put up and break down. We should be getting our grant money for music in the park, and I applied again for this year. I would like to, I'm gonna say that we came close to spending all our money in the budget on that item, but we didn't. But I think this year we definitely will, and we'll probably need a little more, because I don't know how much the Phillips or veterans are gonna be able to help out this year. But we're looking to keep going with some of the diverse bands, different types of music, and continuing to expand our horizons with that. Community Day, I know there was some talk about moving the day, so I want to decide that as soon as possible. I'm going to pick a day to meet. Every year I usually take the rec committee out for some food, so we're going to pick that date and go out, and then we'll decide then, because if we are going to do it earlier in June, we need to get that date on the calendar right away. And then the only other thing I had was at the last meeting that I was not at, there was, I guess, a handful of people here with complaints about the LAA, which I went through the video and I was going to go through all the comments, but then near the end I just was like, there was a lot of things that maybe weren't said correctly or misconstrued, or there's the misunderstandings. As far as the parents go, like, it is the job of the LAA board to make sure that the parents' needs are being met, and if they are having issues, they need to come to us. And I would definitely like to see, and I'm going to bring it up at the next meeting, that the sports directors, when they are trying to do new things, try to come to a consensus with the parents, such as like with the jerseys with the names on them and stuff like that. As far as some of the other issues, we're here, the LAA is here to take care of the children, and we entered into this partnership because it was a burden on the township, and with the revolving door of CFOs, our bills weren't getting paid, the township bills weren't getting paid. I mean, it was an issue, and the coaches were taking on the responsibilities for themselves. The 501c3 also allows us to fundraise more. So all in all, I think it's a good thing, and I think we have a good agreement, but we're more than willing to have you guys come to any and every meeting to look at all of our books, to look at anything. So anything that you need from us, just let us know.
Sure. We pulled the contract just to, because there were some questions about
Okay.
what we can and cannot do. And so the really only avenue that we have to address is the annual statement of accounting is due by February 1st.
Okay.
And a copy of the bylaws should be given every year to the township by January.
Okay.
So I think that will help address, because really the only say the township has to terminate the agreement is if you're not a 501c3 anymore, if you don't have proper insurance, if you fail to provide us financials, and if you fail to adhere in good faith to the approved bylaws. So we need to know what they are, and obviously you know from watching the tape, there were some allegations, but I think they were looking at the wrong bylaws.
Yes,
which I think we tried to address. And the only other thing is if you fail to provide services to children.
Okay.
So I think as long as the township has the financials and the township has the current bylaws, then we can, you know, if we get a complaint, we can address it better because we'll have the information. And obviously there's a notice period and a cure period and everything, so if we do find a problem, we have to notify you and let you opportunity to fix it.
Okay. The one thing I did notice is that, since, as you know, I do your website, I have the most current LAA bylaws on your website. We have a college student doing the LAA website, and they don't have the most current one, so I'm going to go through their website and see what changes he needs to make for that, because I did.
The website are current.
Yeah.
So that takes care of that.
Yeah, and now that we are working on them, we're trying to streamline them to make it a little easier to read again, and everything that they're doing, you know, of course, is trying to be in the best interest of the children. As you know, athletics, there's a lot of personalities, so yeah. We try to juggle that too, but thank you.
I do want to say to the audience, I'm pleased that Lori volunteered, signed up for another, 3-year term? The rec commission, the rec committee is one of the most active committees. It does the Easter egg hunt. We have, you can't believe the amount of work that goes in the community day. We have music at the park, movies at the pool, and miscellaneous things that happen during the year. And it's a relatively small committee, and they all put in a lot of effort. And without Lori's leadership, I mean, we wouldn't have a community day. And she's always pushing me for more money. I'm saying no, and we sit down and work something out. I'm sure she's
all the time.
Sorry to me, she's going to go to gym now. But
You mentioned about paying for fireworks this year, right?
Yeah, right, yeah, you're doing that, right? I think I heard that.
But I'm really surprised that with everything on her plate, she also took on LAA. So I applaud her for her efforts.
Thank you. It's actually a funny story because it was one, I forget which CFO, because like I said, it's athletics. There's a lot of personalities. My son played sports from when he was this little all the way through high school. The CFO was basically like, can you please, you know, become something on that board because we can't handle some of these, you know, trying to deal with people. So that's how I kind of got roped into that. But I have full faith too that Matt, as the new treasurer, is going to make sure that they get stuff at every single meeting, probably more than they even want, but.
Certainly qualified to do it.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, John.
I saw something later, I'm going to ask it. About John Betts, Breakley Gardens. In the ordinance pertaining to the towing, is that for towing violations? Does that pertain to also towing at this, handicap spots? Yes.
Non-consensual towing. So
Okay.
Yeah, if you get towed from
Okay.
somewhere.
Okay.
So basically, what it stops is from tow operators
Yes.
from when they know you're in a bind or they know you
Yes.
can't fight it because you're being towed from a private parking lot.
Yes.
It makes sure that there's set rates that they can.
So it does also pertain to private parking lots?
I'd have to check again, but
Okay.
it's definitely non-consensual. So if the police
Okay.
called for a tow,
All right.
they have to charge this
All
set
right,
rate.
okay, so
Private contractors.
police do the private, with the
Private
private
contractors.
organizations,
They can
yeah.
usually hire private contractors.
Like, your insurance company, they hire a private contractor, and they send them out there, it could be something different. And if a landlord were to enforce his handicap positions, that would be also a possible private contractor, that wouldn't be the same as towns. Okay, thanks very much.
Anyone else? Questions, comments? No? Speaking of sports, thank you very much for wearing that Jets jersey. I thought I was the only long-suffering person.
2020 Super Bowl champ.
Yeah, you go. Another coaching search, right? That's like every 3 years, so. That's it? Motion, look, Mr. Stewart.
Did you get my business card all right?
I did get your Christmas card, thank you very much.
Send me stuff in the mail for the Alexa money. You can't send me after 6 years of knowing you. I keep it still. I don't get the sign.
I can't afford the stamps. Anyone else? Seeing none? Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.